Everyone is currently concerned about inflation, including individuals, businesses, investors, and politicians. Since around a year to a year and a half ago, inflation has been a major concern and conversational topic. In this video, we'll go over a hierarchy of various investing categories and how they rank during inflationary periods. According to Warren Buffett, who is 91 years old and has personal experience with inflation, all of this is true. Now, let's get into the video. Cash. Cash is the worst asset to have during an inflationary environment. Not only Warren Buffett dislikes retaining cash during inflation, many investors feel the same way. Fellow billionaire Ray Dalio has also been open about his distaste of cash with a very famous and kind of catchy saying, "Cash is trash." This is due to the fact that during periods of inflation, cash in your savings account or in your home's dresser suddenly becomes less and less valuable every day, every week, every month, and every year. One of the most important lessons I want you to learn from this video is the importance of considering your investment returns in real terms. Calculating your actual return on investment is straightforward mathematically. Consider a 10% annual return on your assets. That's fantastic. No, and not so quickly. Really, it all relies on the inflation rate. In order to evaluate the true return on your investments, you need to strip away the impact of inflation. So if inflation is 7% and your assets yield 10% that year, your real cash return is only 3%. Not all as thrilling, yes? Cash is at the bottom of the hierarchy since it offers basically no return on investment. The effects of inflation can work against you if you hold cash for a long time. Bonds with fixed interest rates are placed above cash in the hierarchy. The common wisdom of investing generally deems these assets to be quite safe. Buffett, though, would contend that if inflation is taken into account, these assets aren't actually all that safe. Allow me to elaborate. As of the time this video is being produced, the yield on a U.S. government bond with a maturity of 10 years is approximately 1.8%. This indicates that if you were to buy a government bond with a 10-year maturity today, you would essentially lock in a 1.8% annual return every year for the following 10 years. Let's assume that inflation stays at 4% during the ensuing 10 years, which isn't unreasonable given that the most recent inflation report put it at 7%. This indicates that, after accounting for the effect of inflation on your return, you would have an annual return of 2.2% at a rate of 4% inflation. Even so, this is still preferable to simply having cash. However, it is still far from being the finest. Unproductive assets. Unproductive assets, as defined by Buffett, come next in this hierarchy. Gold, silver, and other precious metals are examples of them. Now, having these isn't so bad in an inflationary period. All other factors being equal, these products should at least keep up with inflation as everything else's price increases. These ineffective assets, however, are also unlikely to give you more purchasing power. Now, these investors demand investments that can surpass inflation and give us a true return, not merely investments that give up with inflation. This is where productive assets, as described by Warren Buffett, come into play. We all know today that Warren Buffett amassed his wealth through the purchase of stocks and entire companies. Buffett, however, asserts that not all companies are created equally. The next level up in the ladder of inflation are productive assets for typical enterprises. One of the traits of average firms is that they need a lot of extra capital, which is just another way of saying that they need money to keep operating. Examples. Here is a condensed illustration that hopefully demonstrates the idea using a genuine business. The largest equipment rental company in the world is United Rentals, ticker symbol URI. Their business strategy is rather straightforward. United Rentals purchases tools that are frequently used in building projects. Bulldozers, temporary bathrooms, and heavy-duty trucks are examples of such items. United Rentals then goes around and rents out that equipment for a brief period of time, typically for the duration of the project, to construction projects. It goes without saying that the equipment that United Rentals provides its clients with wears out eventually and needs to be changed every few years or so. Let's assume, for the sake of simplicity, that the cost of each bulldozer the business purchases is $1 million. Let's also assume that during the bulldozer's lifetime, consumers might rent it out, bringing in $1.2 million in revenue for the business. A handsome $200,000 profit was made. However, let's assume for the purpose of this example that inflation is 20%. This implies that the business will have to spend $1.2 million the next time it goes to replace the current bulldozer. You see, the company is unable to withdraw any cash from the corporation in the form of profits. In order to replace the outdated equipment, all of United Rentals' earnings and profits must be immediately reinvested in the company. I don't anticipate inflation to be anywhere close to 20% right now. Hopefully, United Rentals is a top-notch business. However, this illustration highlights the difficulty that capital-intensive companies experience when there is inflation. Before we go on to the next trait of firms that you should avoid during an inflationary period, a little narrative. Charlie Munger, a business partner and friend of Warren Buffett, once said something that pretty much captures what I just said. Good companies fall into one of two kinds. One is a business where the entire reported profit simply accumulates as excess cash at the end of the year. You may remove the cash from the business and it will continue to operate successfully without it. The second company reports a profit but never had any money on hand. There are a number of firms that operate in a similar manner, where there is never any money. Firms that lack what is referred to as pricing power are the next characteristic of ordinary firms that you want to avoid. The easiest way to illustrate what I mean when I say that some businesses lack pricing power is to briefly discuss one that does. The first corporation that comes to me when I consider pricing power is Apple. Because its devoted client base, many Apple customers are willing to pay whatever the company wants to for its iPhone product. If someone wants a new iPhone, they won't purchase a product from a rival merely because it's less expensive. Compare this to a business that has little to no pricing control, or where the price is essentially the only consideration for customers. Consider a business that produces basic white t-shirts. The company just produces basic white t-shirts. There are no designs or branding because someone will undoubtedly purchase the cheapest white t-shirt they can find. This business has no price power. This t-shirt producer also lacks the option to raise prices above those of its rivals, since should prices rise above those of its rivals, customers will simply choose to purchase their white t-shirts instead. It will be difficult for this company to operate in an inflationary economy. Both the price of the raw ingredients and the cost of hiring workers to create the shirts are rising. Additionally, it is becoming more expensive to distribute the shirts to clients. The cost the business may charge for its shirts is the only thing that isn't really rising. You now understand why inflation is such a problem for businesses without pricing power? In this investment hierarchy, the next level is called productive assets, fantastic businesses. Let's have an example of John, who used $1 million to create software that simplifies video uploading for YouTube creators. In the first year, John made $1.2 million, resulting in a $200,000 profit. Due to a 20% inflation rate, John can charge 20% more for his software, and his total revenue from the previous year of $1.2 million becomes $1.44 million. John's software company is capital light, meaning he only needs to spend a small amount of money to maintain and update the program, allowing him to withdraw profits from the company without the need for constant investment. The best defense against inflation is self-investment. Whether you're the top accountant, dentist, plumber, lawyer, or mechanic, you greatly increase your value to other people. Being highly valued in the marketplace economy has the advantage that you can essentially charge anything you want for your services, and your clients will gladly pay it. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. Thank you for watching.